We've all met someone who is just brilliant, right? Incredibly smart, but for some reason they just can't seem to get ahead. Ever wonder why that is? Well, it might be because of this really fascinating, kind of counterintuitive idea we're going to dive into today, the genius trap. It's this phenomenon where your greatest strength, your intellect, can actually become your biggest weakness.
And really, this whole thing boils down to one single powerful idea. Get this, your brain might win arguments, but relationships win opportunities. That statement right there is the key to unlocking this entire concept.
So that forces us to ask a really challenging question, and it's pretty much the core of what we're talking about today. What if your biggest strength is also your biggest weakness? Let's unpack what that really means.
Okay, so to understand this trap, we first have to tackle a huge idea, what I like to call the IQ myth. It's all about the conventional wisdom on intelligence and success that, let's be honest, we've all been taught.
I mean, from a very young age, we're basically programmed to think that a higher IQ is the golden ticket, It just seems logical. The smarter you are, the better you're going to do in life. But as it turns out, it's just not that simple.
And here's where the story gets really interesting. Research actually points to a specific number where that whole logic just kind of falls apart, an IQ of 120. See, once you get past that point, raw intelligence becomes a much weaker predictor of real-world success. So, if it's not just about IQ, then what in the world actually matters? And that question, it leads us straight to the heart of the problem. There's this phenomenon called the social blind spot, and it explains exactly where being a genius can go totally wrong. So, what is this social blind spot? Well, it's a tendency for really smart people to undervalue social skills. The people stuff. And that leads them to unknowingly, and I mean unknowingly, sabotage their own success. It's the idea that your own brain power can literally blind you to how crucial it is to connect with other people. And this blind spot, it shows up in some very specific ways. See if any of these sound familiar. There's the person who thinks networking is just fake, or maybe even beneath them. Or how about the need to always be right in an argument, even if it hurts the team's progress? There's also this deep belief that just being smart should be enough to get by. And finally, falling into that trap of constantly comparing how smart you are to everyone else, instead of, just building connections. These are all classic signs. Okay, so if a super high IQ isn't the ultimate key to success, then what is? Well, the answer is in what we call the real success predictors, the skills that actually matter when it comes to high achievement. Just look at this comparison. On one side, a high IQ is awesome for solving really complex problems, usually by yourself. But on the other side, you have this powerhouse combination. Emotional intelligence, that's your EQ, how you handle emotions, and grit, which is all about pure perseverance. That combo, that's what builds teams. That's what helps you push through failure. And that's what wins those opportunities we were talking about earlier. One's about raw brain power. The other is about making a real impact. At the end of the day, the crucial takeaway is this. It's not just about what you know. It's really about how you navigate the messy, complicated world of people and how you manage to persevere with others when things get tough. That, right there, is the real game changer.
All right, let's bring this all home. It is time for us to start redefining genius for ourselves and putting all these pieces together.
This next quote, it's blunt, but it is so true. If no one wants you on their team, your high IQ is essentially zero. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. Your intelligence doesn't live in a bubble. Its value is either multiplied or, canceled out by your ability to actually connect with people. And that leaves us with one last question, and this one is for you to think about personally. Take a real, honest look at your own life, your career, your relationships. Is your intelligence working for you? Or in some of these hidden ways, could it actually be working against you?